Welcome. It's it's not a daily summary. This is Bruce Show, and this is Unscrew the News. I'm sorry about that little glitch. My daily live show. I've been gotten into that track, so I apologize. But let's move on. We're going to get into a great interview. I have a fantastic returning guest. I'm so excited to have him. But first of all, I want to say what an extraordinary time to be alive. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure that if you are watching this message, if you're watching this information, make sure to share it out. We've got to get more eyeballs on it. We've got to wake people up. We're going to get into some of the reasons why you got to get woken up, get your friends and your neighbors to fake them into reality, because we have got to get them out of the brainwashed media control. Anyway, we're going to get into unscrewing some news here with my fantastic returning guest. But before we do that, I want to say to you that I'm coming to you from the heart of the battle-ready nation of Alberta. We bring you truth and optimism. Our goal is to break free from the media globalist mind control. Today is November 3rd, 2025, and I want to welcome on, like I said, a returning guest. This is JJ Carrell, and he is a 24-year career deputy patrol agent in the San Diego sector. And he came from the United States Border Patrol. He has joined me a number of times, and we always get into spicy conversations because this gentleman has been on the front lines for obviously a number of years, 24 years to be exact, but he continues to shed the light on this information, trying to wake people up. So he's done two bestseller books. One of them was Invaded: The Intentional Destruction of the American Immigration System, and Treason: The Biden Administration's Strategic and Malicious Destruction of America's Sovereignty. And on top of that, he's done two documentaries. One was What is Treason Trafficked, and What is Treason Invaded. He is a monster as far as bringing the information to the people, and I appreciate his hard work and his Christian values and his family-oriented beliefs. So I want to welcome JJ Carrell. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. It is a pleasure to have you as usual.
Thank you for having me on. The world is on fire. There's so much to discuss. I mean, before we came on, you and I were sitting there just going back and forth for about 15 minutes, and you were like, "Holy cow, we're not even live. Let's put this on camera." I mean, that is how I don't know how you feel, but there are days where I'm preparing for my show, as I'm sure you are with yours, and I'm overwhelmed. Like, what am I going to talk about? Not
Right.
I don't have enough material, but holy cow, what do I choose? And they're not like, okay, I got a big story and I got a couple small stories. No, they're all gigantic. Like,
Right.
they're all earth shattering news. 10 years ago, that's all people would talk about for weeks on end. Now it's in some kind of 4-hour news cycle, and then it spins out and you're like, wait a minute, hold on, that we have to go back to that. And I think that is part of the chaos that the elites want. They want our heads spinning.
You're absolutely right. So it is coming so quickly, and the new, like you say, the news cycle. You have one story, and it's there for a day or two, and it seems like, in the last 10 years, if it was 10 years ago, that story would be in the
Mhm.
news for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and people would be up in arms about it. Speaking of which, and you brought this up, that Canada is, like, we are completely effed. I gotta show you this before we get into this meat. I don't know if you saw this, but this was October 31st. Our Supreme Court decided with a 5-4 decision, striking down a mandatory minimum for heinous crimes against child pornography. So child pornography and pedos used to have a mandatory minimum, and they said
Mhm.
it was against. It was what was it here? Let me see. I'm just going to read this out again. Oh, challenge the law's constitutionality because let me see here. It was, oh yeah, get this. And so this is the Canadian Supreme Court, and I was screaming at the computer when I read this. But so sentences for possessing or accessing child pornography violate Section 12 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Well, in 2021, I thought they got rid of the Charter of Rights when they forced people to take the toxic injection and told them that they can't go to work, can't get on a plane, can't get on a train, can't sit beside your neighbor, can't go to a hospital, all of the other bullshit that they enforced and then they shoved down our throats. But now they're talking about the Charter of Rights for pedos. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And
That,
it's shocking, right? It's shocking that why do they have any rights, right? I believe that you have the right to a fair trial and to be proved innocent. But if I can directly contact, hey, you've downloaded child pornography,
yeah.
like now our government has been already our government, the U.S. has already been found that they have the FBI plants child pornography on people's phones and their computers. They actually do that, and
Wow.
they've done that through FOIA requests. But at the same time, okay, let's take those as one-offs. I can prove that you're a pedophile. Like, I can prove it. There is no rehabilitating those people. That
No.
is you. I don't care whatever you want to call it. I believe their brain is wired differently, and there's no rewiring it correctly. We don't get into the computer and change a couple things. No, you have an insatiable appetite. You have a sexual appetite for children, and you can control it a little bit, and then it explodes. And I've been involved in this in my life, as far as in law enforcement, having some oversight over units that specialize in this. And they're walking around time bombs, meaning you and I, a heterosexual, even a homosexual individual, there's access to other homosexuals, other heterosexuals, right? So we can go to bars, we can go on Grindr, we can do well. There's a million ways that we can, quote, get sexually connected, satisfied. These men and women, but mainly men, they're predators. There's nowhere to go, right? So the only where to go is to these websites and or on these chats where they trade their children and the sex trafficking. It's a dark world. And the fact that our governments will give them any leeway is unbelievable. They should be, I believe, once we find, like, I have a young girl, she's in my custody, she's been raped, I match your semen in that 3-year-old girl. Now you have 3 seconds, sir, to explain to me how your semen got inside a 3-year-old girl. Go. 1, 2, 3, done. You don't have an excuse. I kill you on the spot. And that, people may say, well, that's harsh. No, the reason why we live in this world is because we're enlightened, right?
Yeah.
We're enlightened.
Right.
Back in the day, that man would not even get a 3 count, right? They would just shoot and kill him. What is wrong with that? Honestly, and I'm saying that as a Christian. What is wrong with that? Nothing. The God that I believe in, that I love, and that I cherish, I believe that God wants real men to take care of the Satan demons in the world. And we have been lied to and propagandized by not only politicians, more importantly, by our religious leaders, that we need to be an effeminate, gay, impotent follower of Christ, because Christ was a effeminate gay man, right? That's what we've been told our whole life.
That's what we've been. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, there's so many topics, but this one is maddening, dude.
Well,
maddening.
So my show last night was about other reasons why Alberta, and that's for any of the new viewers, but for most of my viewers, they understand that we're talking about seceding, obviously, from this charter, the Constitution of Canada.
We should avoid taking gabapentin for neuropathy.
I'm sorry.
Anyone who wants to keep both legs healthy.
I'm sorry, my phone just started talking. Okay. Unbelievable.
It's probably because it's listening to us.
It is. It probably is because it's listening. Gee, Merry Christmas. Sorry.
It's okay. So this article was, a big topic. Obviously, the last couple of days came out. This decision came out October 31st, and to me, it's just another huge reason why we need to escape from this insane asylum called Canada. I don't know what else to say, but they're making rules that obviously I don't know if you've heard this, JJ. I got to tell you, but we've got three new bills that are supposed to be coming out. Bill C2. Bill C2 is the one that they're going to, strengthen the border. They're going to not allow transactions of cash over $10,000. That was one of the things, right? Because they're going to stop terrorists, obviously, with
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
with yeah, as well as one of the other bills, BC C8 and C9, and one of them was allowing any official in the post office to open mail. No warrant, no nothing. Just go ahead and open citizens' mail. Have at her. They're also obviously talking about harms online, and that would be the next thing, right? If you hurt
Oh.
anybody's feelings online, up to up to life imprisonment.
Well, that's what the UK's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The UK's doing. You and I were talking just briefly before we got on. We were talking about is Canada ahead of America in the insanity, or they side by side or a little bit behind? And I was saying I think you guys are a little bit behind, but I think you're going to surpass us very shortly because you don't have a strong conservative movement or leader to. I'm watching it from down south, looking at you guys, and I'm thinking, dear Lord, what are they doing? I mean, is there a leader? Do you have, maybe that's a better question I have. Do you have a rising young leader that is Canada first, Christian nationalist? Do you have anybody like that at all in the horizon?
Well, that's the thing, even so they're talking about having an election here very shortly. So the party in charge is the Liberal Party. They have a minority government. I think they're short like three seats. And there's a chance because they're going to blow the budget. They're talking about $100 billion deficit in this budget. They have been, I don't know if you know this, sorry, I'm going back a bit, but he's already been in power since May. And they're supposed to come up with a budget right away. They have been shelving that, trying to keep it down, not releasing a budget, a plan for what you're going to do for Canada. And still no budget has been announced. And obviously they're trying to hide it. So there's a lot of talk that they're going to release this budget. It's going to be a bomb, to Canada. But there's also a benefit to them is that they think because they are sort of stemming that they're ahead in the polls. This is the elbows up morons that voted for this guy. They think that they can win, a majority. So they're thinking they're going to call in another election. Anyway, the conservative alternative is Pierre Poilievre, who you've probably heard of, and he is no better. I believe that he says some nice things, but he has never been a brick wall. He's never been a Donald Trump that says, you know what, I'm here to fight for Canadians. I'm here to stand in the way of this tyranny of the WEF, the UN. He's come out with niceties. He's been lambasted because he showed up at the convoy, and they've beaten him up ever since then. So I just don't think that the alternative is one of the other parties. It's unfortunate, but like I've said to you a number of times, I think our only option here is Alberta itself. So the province of Alberta, we want to secede Canada. We want to have our own nation. We do have a number of people that are pioneer spirit, very much like the Texas of the North. We believe in government, get out of the way. We believe we don't want any handouts. We don't want UBI. We don't want universal basic income that they keep talking about. We don't want, this social huge net that you're going to, support everybody on. Because we're seeing it down in the States. How many? 46 million people are on these food stamps. The
SNAP. Yep.
And EBT or whatever that case is. That is insane. These people are obviously abusing that system. And anyway, in Alberta, we don't want any of that. So to answer your question, no, there is nobody that looks like they're going to come and save us.
Well, and when I say that you guys are behind us, let me clarify that, because I think you're appalled, right? You and people like you are appalled at what you're witnessing right now in your government. We were appalled of what we were witnessing under Obama, then Biden. We were appalled by the obstacles placed in front of Donald Trump during his first term by the Republicans. But what you don't know, and what we're beginning to realize, and being able to not realize, but be proof being uncovered, is the depth, the absolute depth of corruption and treason that has been happening inside of our power structures, our institutions, where these people hate America. And it seems as if you have a massive Canada hating group. So my point to you is, you're appalled at what you see. Give it 5 or 10 years, you're going to be shocked at what you've allowed to have happen to your nation. And I'll give you a great example. So popped up on my feed yesterday, and every now and then on this, and I apologize for not knowing the account to give it credit. They will show what London used to look like 40 years ago, or New York City, or LA, right? And you're looking at it, you're like, wow, look at how different it was. No diversity. It was clean, like spotless clean. And they showed one of Toronto, like in the 60s, 70s, something like that.
Yep.
Spectacular.
Oh, I saw that one. That was just a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And this is something that's been bubbling. I don't know if it's happening in Canada, but for sure in America. And because they label us, and they put negative connotations to these labels, like you're a white nationalist, you're a Christian nationalist, you're a white Christian nationalist, right? Yeah, okay, I am. America was founded not by immigrants, by white European settlers that created the greatest nation on planet Earth. And I'm watching my demographics be absolutely slaughtered. And if you look at all of the Western nations, we are the only group, or only nations, that are systematically being destroyed. And all of those Western European nations, to include New Zealand, Australia, the United States, and Canada, we're all white. And everyone says, well, the white people are dominant. Well, no, we're 6 to 8% of the total population of the world.
Yeah.
Of the world. And
well, we've been guilted
us
into it, right?
Absolutely. Our greatest enemy are our own white people that want to kill us because they have some stupid white guilt, as if being white is bad. And I fight back on that. I'm a white man. Why am I being demonized? For what?
Right.
For creating civilization? That's what I'm being demonized at? That we somehow were, and we can go through the somehow, but we somehow were able to create thriving places that had electricity, running water, have toilets. We don't urinate and defecate in the streets and then be shocked that we're all dying of some horrible disease. We have the arts. We have language. Lord have mercy. There's countries in Africa, they still don't have written language. Like writing down what they think. They don't know. They don't have a language. This is absurdity. And my point is, diversity is not our strength in America. And I'm wondering, are you feeling the same? Is there any white nationalist, white Christian nationalist, like, hey, Canada was great the way it was. I request it to stay that way. Like we are in America, like we're time out. All of our major cities are crumbling. All of the diversity. We went from, in the late 60s, early 70s, 88% of our nation was white. We're down in 60% now. 60%. By 2045, that's the latest prediction. We think it's going to be in the 2030s. White Americans will be the first majority minority in our country, meaning we'll be under 50% within 15 years.
It's insane, and we have felt the same thing. Definitely, Eastern Canada seems to be much worse. An area called Brampton. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's basically the poop capital, the poop on the street capital of Canada.
What do you have? Indians there? Indian nationals? Yep.
Yeah.
Of course.
And there's umpteen videos where they're pooping at the gas station, they're pooping on the sidewalk. I've heard stories, and get this is just off the top of my head. I don't have any proof to show it, but the trucking industry, they poop through a hole so that they don't have to stop from driving. And So they poop right through the truck. They cut a hole in the truck. And
Well,
so
that's normal. Come on. What I think you're being prejudiced. That's a normal behavior, right? Haven't you ever carved out a hole in the frame of your vehicle so you could take a crap? You've never done that before?
I
You've
can
never done it?
say I can say that I have never done that before.
Wow.
I gotta share something with you. This is gonna blow your mind away as well. This is happening in in the Vancouver, so West Coast. Have you heard of Richmond, BC, and what's going on there?
No, I have not.
Okay, so a tribe out in the Richmond, so the Cowichan First Nations land claim, they have been given by the court land of Richmond, BC, a city, and they've basically given the land so people who have had homes or still do have homes and title to those homes. So if you just read the headline here, this is from the Daily Mail. Homeowners in Pacific Northwest City are warned their land has now been given to Native tribe and eviction could soon follow. This is not a joke. This is not the Babylon Bee. This is real life. They have given the land back to the tribe. And
Do
these
you
are people's homes.
well, do you are those people man enough to stake their claim and fight back, or are they just going to allow them to take it?
I don't know. They had a meeting with the mayor of Richmond, and this was, I think it was October 28th. Sorry, here's another one from Ordessa Olowitz, basically showing the area. And this is the letter actually they received, if you can see it here. Notice to registered owner. And we're gonna see how that plays out. But this is just recently. So I can't remember what day these letters were sent out. But yeah,
Look, man,
this is the beginning of it.
I'm part Native American, so I say this with complete understanding. That city will turn into an absolute hellscape within 30 days.
Well,
Absolutely.
if the court upholds it, yes, it will. But I mean, I can't see this going forward. I can't see the people, bowing down and succumbing to this. But it is BC. They are completely woke. So we have no clue how it's going to happen. And I expected to see the meeting, with the homeowners and the city council. I thought it was going to be a complete brawl, but it was pretty tame for what I would think was going to happen. And so this is how bad Canada is, and this is just the beginning. There's now been another claim that has been placed on a section of Quebec, and we'll see. I'm sure that Quebec, because Quebec has some real patriots, and they don't back down, and they'll probably just they'll probably kick the band right out of Quebec. As that's the kind of people Quebec is. Yeah.
Well, I had this discussion with someone that I respect, and he and I were talking about what's it going to take. Like, let's say America's pushed to this insanity that the eastern part is. It's not like you need 50% of America to handle what's wrong with America.
Mm-hmm.
You give me 10,000 men, 100,000 men. I don't need any more than that are absolutely devoted to the Constitution and to each other. Meaning, we're gonna do a blood oath. Your former law enforcement, your former military, or you're in the military or in law enforcement, a rabbit hunter, a guy that is a constitutionalist and you know how to use a weapon, and we train. There's nobody going to stop us.
Mm-hmm.
No one. It'll be bloody. And I pray that we're not there yet, but we're getting there in America. People can dismiss me, and people like me talking about this. Our founding fathers would have already been stacking bodies in the street right now.
Sure
there's no way those
Yeah.
founding fathers would be giving 50 to 60% of their total income to a federal government who then turned around and give it to foreign nationals inside of our country and outside. I mean, this is beyond. We're past. Like, people ask me, well, do you think that where are we at on the spectrum of the end? I said, we're beyond that time. And we allowed this to happen because we funded our own demise. We
Right.
allowed the enemy into America. We have foreign nationals in our houses of Congress, dude.
Hmm.
We have people with dual citizenship. And one dual citizenship that nobody's allowed to talk about is we have massive amounts of people inside the president's cabinet, inside the major power institutions, and inside of our House and Senate that have dual allegiance or dual citizenship with Israel.
Right.
What in God's name? Look, I'm in the immigration world, and I've asked some of my buddies that are instructors at the academy, hey man, was there a law passed that when you become a US citizen that you get to retain your previous citizenship?
Citizenship. Yeah.
No. You're not. I don't know how they did this administratively. When you used to swear, when you became a U.S. citizen, you had to denounce and renounce your past citizenship. Why? Because when we go to war or we have anything, you have to have allegiance to America. You have tens of millions of people in America that if we went to war, they're not going to go to war with us. They're going to go to war against our people. Tens of millions of people inside of our nation are going to fight against us. America has no idea the depth of corruption that
Right.
we've allowed to have happen in America, and
Well,
it's
you know what?
staggering.
Canada is exactly the same way, and I- because we don't have anybody shouting, because we don't have anybody with, obviously the mainstream media is completely bought. They've been bought for a long, long time. They completely brainwash the NPCs into believing that everything is good. Canada is good. You know, the government, made it a law. They made it a law, and I don't know if it was actually during COVID or just before COVID, but they made a law saying that they could propagandize people. They could actually, the military could propagandize their citizens, and
Yep.
not unlike I can't remember what act it is that Obama brought in I think it was
Yes.
2012.
Same thing.
The Smith-Mundt Act, right?
Yep.
Or they abolished the Smith-Mundt Act, which meant you couldn't propagandize your own
So our
citizens.
government's allowed to propagandize us.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so they've infiltrated our governments. I mean, you probably saw this during the dark times, COVID, where we had so many Chinese nationalists actually working in the health industry. Our CEO here in our province was from China, in charge of our health system. So she, said that we have to follow the WHO, we have to follow the WEF, we have to follow their I guess their plan
Their guidelines.
for
Yeah.
this pandemic. We have to follow the guidelines, and nobody can stray outside of that. You can't question masks. You can't question the 6 feet distance. You can't question whether you can, go into a hospital and see grandma, or go into a care home and go and take your family out of there. They were in charge, and a number of different, a number of levels in our health system were Chinese nationalists. Also, I don't know if you remember this as well, but during COVID, there was a level 3 bio lab in Winnipeg that was obviously tied to this, and Chinese employees, right? I mean, they have infiltrated. Anyway, this is just to say that we have subvertly infiltrated Canada with these traitors, with these, they are part and parcel to the destruction of North America. And you know what? A lot of people say that that Trump is going to take over Canada because we're going to pose a national security risk. What are your thoughts on that?
We don't want Canada, right? That's the truth. Like people say, let's go down and take Mexico. I don't want Mexico. Are you out of your mind? And I don't honestly. I'm sure, and I know a lot of Canadians, very nice people, but I don't want a lot of nice people, right? I
Yeah.
don't want a bunch of sheep that have been castrated,
Oh God.
brought into my country. I don't want
Yeah.
it. I want hardcore Americans that live and breathe for freedom and
Right.
opportunity. We've been strangled. We've
Amen.
been strangled, but I don't want to add, what are you guys, 50 million people? I don't want to add 50 million sheep into America. Why would I want to bring in 50 million liberals?
Well, why
in-
would you want to bring 50 million Californians in, right?
Yeah, why would I want to add to that? Make a 51st state that's like California, and then you guys get 50 million, so you'll probably get about 50 electoral college votes. No, 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 no. No, thank you. Absolutely no. And I don't want your Indian population. I don't want your Chinese population. I don't want anything. I want America. What this is really my cry now is I want, you know how when you have a bad habit, they say all you have to do is make it past the 30-day mark.
Yeah,
And
30 days. Yep.
you'll correct it, right? Eating,
Mhm.
drinking, whatever it is. I want America to become American only for 30 days. Let's focus on no one even gets a phone call, email, nothing. Everything that we talk about, we do, we strategize is for America. And you'll be shocked to see how great things would be in 30 days. Why are we giving money to foreign nations, any foreign nation, Canada, Mexico, Israel, Nigeria, whatever? No one gets anything. We're going to take care of Americans. What a novel approach that would be. And I'm not bringing in anybody. And I also want a moratorium on all immigration. I don't want
Yeah.
another immigrant coming into America, period,
100%.
from any country.
100%. Yeah. So maybe a 30-day. I was just thinking of how to frame this in a short thing, but 30-day America First fast, or
Yeah, just
30-day.
a fast. We're not going
Yeah.
to send out any money. We're not
Yeah.
spending anything. We're going to hold everything.
Not
Look,
negotiating anything. No deals
nothing,
with
nothing.
China. No deals with Ukraine. No.
Nothing. I'm not going to Nigeria to help the Christians stop being slaughtered by the Muslims. That's your problem. And if we as Christians want to go help Nigerians, that's a whole nother topic. But I'm not sending America money, aid, or men to fight for another nation that has gutless, impotent men that allow their women and children to get hacked to death. Can you imagine? Can you imagine me allowing Muslims to come into my house and kill my family? They would all be dead. And
Yeah.
this is the importance of a Second Amendment, that you're getting slaughtered in a nation in Nigeria.
Mhm.
You're getting Christians. Where's my Pope? I'm Catholic. Where's my Pope? Why isn't he gathered together a crusades to
Right.
go and kill these Muslims that are killing God's children? Why? Because we're all complicit. Our Pope, I mean, I know that we're kind of shotgunning right now, but every single thing that's happening in the world is connected. All of it. And let me
Mhm.
give you an example. Why aren't we going to Nigeria as a Christian coalition? Well, because we allow prayer rooms in the Vatican now. Inside the Vatican walls, we have
Seriously?
yes, we have prayer rooms for Muslims, because when Muslim scholars come and study in our Christian library, our Catholic libraries, they need a place to worship 5 times a day. How about this? How about, hey, guess what? You're going to respect our world. If you need to pray, then you take your Muslim ass out of the walls of the Vatican and go sit on the street in Italy and pray to your God. But you're not praying to your prophet Muhammad here in America, inside the Vatican Christian walls. But that's how far we've gone. I believe we have another false prophet, false leader of our church, Pope Leo. I call him Pope Leo the illegal. He loves illegal aliens, loves them, and comes to chastise Americans for how we're handling the invading savages that have come into America. My Pope is another disgusting. Pope Francis was horrific. This guy, Pope Leo, is just another boondoggle. I mean, he's praying over a block of ice, for God's sake. I don't know if you saw that.
Unbelievable. I did.
Yeah.
What was up with that?
That was climate change. So basically, that was the golden calf. Remember how we learned nothing's changed. We still have these Pharisees of the day, and those are the Catholic Church are the Pharisees of the day with their stupid ass hats and their robes. They are the Pharisees of the day. And I mean, religion has and is continue to play a powerful influence on our society, and our society is rotten and morally bankrupt. Why is that? Because our religious leaders have lied to us for decades. Lied to us for decades. Well, we have to listen to the Jews in Israel because they're God's chosen people, and we need to be subservient to the Jews, and we need to do everything we can for the Jews. What? Like as a young child and young adult, I never believed it. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? But now, as a more mature adult with better critical thinking skills, I'm thinking, how in God's name did I believe any of that crap my whole entire life? What?
It's been there for so many years, and I guess we all sort of question it if you were paying attention.
Yeah.
Is that you question what was going on with Israel and the United States? It doesn't make sense. Hey, you were bringing up some really good points in regard to Muslims, and I don't know if you happened to catch it, but I did an interview with Dan Bermawi. Have you ever heard of him?
No, I haven't.
So he was born and raised Muslim in Jordan, I think is where it was. Yeah, in Jordan. Anyway, he converted to Christianity and then started to and it was a theologian, so he was studying the Bible and converted to Christianity. Had to move to Lebanon because it wasn't safe to convert in Jordan. Anyway,
what? Wait a minute. You're telling me the religion of peace wasn't peaceful?
Apparently, it wasn't peaceful.
Wow.
So
wow. I didn't know that.
Moved to Lebanon, but he's been in the United States and he's got a book out. But he's been talking about, I think the book's called Islam, Israel, and the West. And one of the things that he said, a number of things, like some really great points listening to this guy. But he said that if you talk to a Muslim and you ask them if there is space to have other religions, he says, if they tell you it's okay, they're not really a Muslim, or they're lying to you. He said there is no reconciliation. You can't actually have no coexistence is possible with the Muslim religion.
But we brought him into our country.
Right. And because we are complicit and we are guilty, JJ, we are guilty. And so we have to make amends and we have to bend over backwards, right? Okay. Can we change topics just for a second here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because this is just plays into the whole world is falling apart. It's on fire. But have you seen this in your timeline? I don't know how much time you spend on X. But
yeah, I do. But what is that?
This is driving me nuts. No, it's not just one thing. It's over and over about COVID and the next pandemic and wearing a mask and taking a vaccine. It is just insidious. So my timeline has been, I talked about it again last night, but this is this morning. So Hiroshi Yasuda, he's talking about it. Laura Myers, she's talking about it. This is just my timeline. This is not, I wasn't searching for COVID. I wasn't searching for masks. So
really, you're getting inundated with COVID. I'm getting inundated with nothing in my feed except we're all anti-Semites. And
is that right? Hey,
yeah, it's all Jews. We're anti-Semites, and we need America. 350 million population needs a 9 million nation in order to survive. That's the push, and that we need to literally cancel people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, because we're just asking the questions. Why is 2% of our population, America, Jews, control every sector of our lives? How it's mathematically impossible. And all we're asking, or at least all I'm asking is, can you explain to me how that happened?
I have a great idea.
Nobody can.
I have a great idea. I think I've solved our problem. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Brace yourself, put your seatbelt on. Okay. All of the immigrants that you and I and the vast majority of Americans and Canadians don't want, go to Israel.
Oh, I think that's a great idea.
Why don't they all go there? Because Israel is open. They want to bring in all of these people, and they want to have this really diverse society. And we can send them a couple $1 million a year. Say, here you go. Here's to pay for your camps that you're going to set up with the tents and the tent cities that you're gonna build, and then you guys can handle all of that, and then we can wash our hands.
I think it's a great idea. But
You think they'll go for it though?
no. They're liberals. They have a very, very hardcore liberal society there. They all want everyone else to do it except them. It's like when you go to a liberal's house and say, "Hey, I got 10 illegal aliens. They need a place to stay." Well, I want them to say anywhere else in the world except my house. Oh, okay. I
Right.
see. I see. We just live in the hypocrisy is so astounding. And when you ask a question and people their reaction isn't like, well, let me answer that. No, their reaction is you're evil. You need to be censored.
Right.
Isn't it
It's just censored.
interesting? Everything that gets censored or screamed at is always left to the right. The right is always like, no, let them speak. I want them to speak. I want to know what they think. I want everyone to know who they are.
Yeah.
I've never called for let's censor them. I've
Right.
called for why are we buying their products? Like, why do we keep funding these people? Like Netflix, I cut Netflix out of my house. Why? That's not a I'm
Well,
trying
you're not
to
censoring them. Yeah.
no, I'm
You're not
just
saying they
saying
can't exist.
right. No, I'm not. You want to exist? There's an audience for your moral decay. Fine. Go ahead. But I'm not paying for it. It's not a protest, it's just my choice. But I'm not calling for Netflix to be deplatformed.
Right.
But it's
Just
interesting
like
they call for
right?
us.
Yeah, just like Disney.
Yeah.
Never gonna go there. I'm never gonna set foot in one of
No.
their places. I'm never gonna buy a ticket to one of their movies ever again. But again, go ahead. You can continue, but there are consequences for your actions. Hey, there's one other thing I want to bring up, and this New York thing. Stop trying to time the market. Buy a gold and silver subscription with nuggetstacker.com. Start off with as little as $50 per month and work your way up. Once you get to the allotted amount, they'll send it directly to your door. Stop trying to time that market and save your family with gold and silver in your hands. Nuggetstacker.com. Go through unscrewthenews.com, click on the link for Nugget Stacker. Is going crazy. I'm going to play this, and then I want to get your thoughts on what's going on in New York
Okay.
City with the soon-to-be election. Right?
People don't understand what it's like to elect a Muslim socialist until they elect a Muslim socialist. You could ask our friends in London. How many years has Sadiq Khan been mayor there? How's that going?
What do you think will happen in New York City if Zoran does win?
You know, there'll be a few immediate things. One, if you're Jewish or Christian, you're going to feel extremely unsafe. You're going to be looking at a lot of these sort of Muslim street and Antifa style element behaving like complete animals because they no longer have any limitations. The police are on their side, right? Second of all, you're going to see tremendous crime. Those same liberal white girls that are probably going to be why Mamdani wins, if he does, are going to be the first on the chopping block. And it's going to be awfully satisfying, grimly so, when they're the ones getting sexually harassed in the subway, because guess what? They're the first in line, because there's no one protecting them, and they're gonna wonder about their vote at that point. But of course, by then,
Why do you say awfully
they'll be quick.
satisfying?
Huh?
Why do you say awfully satisfying?
Because it's there is something deeply satisfying about someone facing the unintended consequences of their actions. I don't find it satisfying because I like it; it's horrendous. But the fact that they actively voted for this while claiming people like myself and yourself are racist, are fascist, are Nazis. Let's see if they think that way still when they're getting sexually assaulted by some guy who should either be in prison or mental asylum.
What do you think about that, JJ?
I think that we are staring down a barrel of a gun, and he will win. He will win. Absolutely, he'll win. So this is a guy that just became a U.S. citizen. He's not even from America.
Yeah.
You just had, what is it, 24 years ago, we lost all those people with the quote 9/11. I put quotes around 9/11 because I have no idea what the truth is there.
Right.
But do you know, since 9/11, do you know our response to quote Muslims coming and killing us? Well, our response was, hey, shut the door, don't let any more in. No, our response was, let's quadruple their population. So we've quadrupled our population of Muslims. Look, New York will fall, and I'm gonna echo what that guy said. You're going to see crime skyrocket like you've never seen before, because I'm going to give you an inside scoop of how law enforcement minds work. First, you will see, because he hates the PD, the NYPD hates them. You will see a mass exodus of NYPD officers going to New Jersey, other
Well, if they
parts.
haven't already left, right?
Yep, but they will leave in droves, and the ones that are there will partner up in groups of probably 4 or 6 to make sure they don't get killed, and they're going to do nothing.
Yeah.
They're going to do nothing. That's what's happened in the rest of America, is the Ferguson and George Floyd effect, that officers just refuse to do their job. They're like, screw it. I got 3 years to retirement. That means every day you've got to get my back, and I got to get, we're not, this is the mindset. I'm not going to look for crime. I'm going to look for people that are going to hurt you, and you look for people that are going to hurt me. And
Right.
let's go back to back and get through these next 3 years. And you are going to see massive, massive crime. And why part of me wants New York to vote for him and just catch on fire, because they deserve it. But it has a profound impact on me. Meaning that's where our financial institutions are housed. So it's going to have impact on me, but it's going to happen. This is part of the liberal mindset. And quite honestly, I'm tired. I'm tired of the big United States, to be quite honest with you. I'm tired of being in a conservative area, dealing with liberals, the mindset and the manifestation of liberal ideals. I'm tired of it. I'm sure that's what you're talking about with Alberta, and you guys are tired of your. So don't think that there can't be a split in our nations. To look around the globe, countries change all the time. We act as if this is going to be forever. This is not going to be forever. There's no way. A lot of people are using this term, this phrase, and I believe it. I've said it multiple times myself. We cannot continue down this same path and expect everything to stay the same. Something has to give. Something will give. What is that? I don't know. But I can look down the path of this dark road we're on and say, this is pain and suffering. In no way, it doesn't matter if you're going to fight for America like a civil war, or you're going to continue down doing nothing. It's all going to be painful and violent and suffering. There's no way out of it now.
Yeah.
I don't, unless you see a different off ramp. I think we've passed all our off ramps, and every off ramp that is left for us is your off ramp. You're going to end up in the inner city as some white guy driving your family in your minivan, and all of a sudden you're in burned out buildings, and everyone that's looking at you is non-American, illegal alien, and they don't share your skin color, your societal norms, your cultural norms, your religious beliefs. And guess what? You have exactly what they want, and your wife and your children, they will devour them too. And that's what's happening in America right now, and it's indisputable. Illegal aliens, mainly men, all men that are brown or black, are raping and killing white Americans. And we sit by and we remain silent. I won't remain silent. I don't care. Anybody calls me those vile racists. You're a racist, xenophobe. Okay, whatever. Can we move on? Let's just assume that's true. Let's just move on. And they hate that when a strong white person says, okay, that's fine. Let's move on. Can we move on? I'm a white nationalist and Christian. Okay, yeah. Let's move on. They hate it. What they want me to do is try to create a defense for me being a good person. I don't care. No, and the worst thing to say to them is, okay, I'm those things. Let's move on. And they're like, oh my God, what do I can't shame him. No, you can't shame me for being white. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm just not going to do it.
Well, it's lost its sheen, right? I mean, those words have definitely lost their sheen.
So you're a Nazi? What does a Nazi even mean anymore?
Right.
Did 6 million Jews die in ovens? Are we going to go down that road? 6 million? Did they really? Well, historians are now saying that is mathematically impossible. Oh,
I know.
But
I agree.
But at the same time, 30 million Christians were slaughtered and murdered by the Bolsheviks. Hold on. So you're telling me 5 times, if I believe the 6 million mark for Jews, 5 times that of Christians were murdered, and we're not taught that in school? Wait a minute. Why am I taught about the Jews, but I'm a Christian, and all of my Christian brothers and sisters got murdered to the tune of 30 million in the Russian Bolsheviks, and we're not allowed to talk about that? But I gotta focus solely on the Jews?
Yeah.
Why is that? You're telling me at least give me an explanation. Oh, you don't have an explanation. So then I think that I have to believe it's nefarious then.
This is really why we talk and why we are so passionate is that I think I said it to my daughter this morning on the way to school. I said, you know what? The lies have been so massive for so many years
Yeah.
that the uncovering of these, and to use the term bodies, but we're uncovering bodies as we go, and there's layers upon layers upon layers of bodies that we're uncovering, and you just don't know where the bottom is of this pit. How far do the lies go? Like, is it World War One? I mean, is that how far we have to go back? Because as far as I can tell, 1918, when they called it the Spanish flu, I think that was all garbage too, complete lies.
Well,
So,
let's go all the way back to the flood.
right.
I mean, if I don't know how you feel, but the more that I research and the more that things are brought up, are you telling me that there wasn't a vast society or civilization prior to the flood that God said he told us why he did it? Are you telling me now we find out the pyramids, well, they weren't really built in our society and they really weren't slaves, and there's cylinders that go 2,000 meters into the
Right.
earth, and they're
Yeah.
giant football field shaped concrete blocks down there. What? Oh yeah, that's how they do. Oh, you don't need to know this, but that's how they ran their electricity. Okay, hold
Right.
on.
Right.
Time
Right.
out. Time out. Okay, wait a minute. My history book said there were only pyramids in Egypt because
Yeah.
the Egyptians were so advanced. Wait, no. There are pyramids across the globe, and they're all perfectly aligned. Hold on a second. Time out. Time out. What are you telling me? See, we have been lied to about everything, my friend.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I tell my son, I have a 14-year-old son, I tell him, look, you don't have to believe everything that I believe, son, because I know that I have very strong opinions. But if you're going to disagree with me about anything, you better come to me with rational, critical thinking skills, and you and I can have a discussion. But don't come to me about your feelings and all that. You need to be able to articulate why you believe what you believe. And why I'm so hard on my son when we talk like this is I say, son, you have blonde hair, blue eyes, and white skin. You are the devil. You're the devil walking this earth. You
Mhm.
better understand what you believe in and why you believe it, and then have the ability to verbally articulate and then physically be able to stand up to these people. This is the world we live in. We live in a world, son, that hates you, that hates everything about what we believe in. And you have, and I have, your dad has been lied to his whole entire life about everything. I want you to question everything and everyone until it is proven to you without a shadow of a doubt. The only thing that I know that happened, the only thing that I know and believe in, that Jesus Christ was a son of God, and he was crucified, died for our sins, rose to heaven after 3 days, and he is our God. That's it. Everything else I question,
Right.
absolutely everything else, because nothing else makes sense. I don't know, sir. Do you believe that in the late 1960s, we shot people into space? They went to a moon in this rickety machine and then shot themselves back and landed on Earth. But then the greatest accomplishment in the world was that feat was accomplished, and then they lost everything. They lost everything. And then we had to start over, and we can't go back because we can't
Can't go
replicate.
back.
Can't go back because we
No.
can't, because we can't replicate what was happened in the late 1960s.
Yeah.
Obviously, technology was better back then than it was now, and our President Nixon was on a phone with a cord that ran into a wall to a light pole outside, and he was able to directly speak to the people on the moon. Dear God, are you that stupid? Look, and I'm talking to me. Am I that stupid? Yes, I was that stupid.
Sure.
I believed in that propaganda.
Yeah.
And you may, I know people, some people will hear me say that, and I know how they feel, because I was one of those people. I was one
Yeah.
of those people like, you're insane, dude. You're like insane. And until one of those persons told me, hold on a second, explain to me why you believe we went to the moon. And I tried to explain it, and I couldn't. And he
Yeah.
refuted everything I said. And as somebody that prides himself on being intellectually honest, I had to admit, holy cow, I need to go research and be able to rebut him. And I went to do my research, and then I started thinking, this is insanity. What I've been told is insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm defending this insanity.
Right.
But I did. But
Yes.
I did.
Yes. And that's part of the ploy, or part of the I guess deception, is
Mhm.
that it's so deep and it's so wide that you don't know where the edges are. You don't know how to come up for a breath of fresh air of truth.
That's
I mean,
true. What is the truth today?
Yeah.
Honestly, what is it? And I think that's the greatest accomplishment of the elites, is they now made us question everything. As a society cannot sustain or improve in a world where no one trusts anyone or anything. And that's where we're at today.
But it's also a great thing, because it is an awakening, and I think that uh, uh, I think that they misunderstood what COVID, because I think that's where the awakening started
Oh,
for
yeah,
a lot of people, right?
absolutely.
But I believe that they didn't think that we had it in us, that the human spirit was breakable, but really we are not. We instead of taking the time, the time where we were segregated and where we were isolated, instead of just taking that time to just sit and twiddle your thumbs and watch football games, a lot of people were researching and
Mhm.
questioning what's actually happening in the world. And that's where we I think have exposed the underbelly of the beast.
Well, yeah,
And
when you're sitting in the line at the airport and you're 6 feet apart, and then you get put into a tin can with 300 people
yeah,
sharing the same air, you
yeah,
have to, on some level, go, what in the hell did I just experience? What? And then once you realize, okay, they lied about that. And then you go, oh my God, they lied about the next 7 things. Oh my God, the last 15 things I've looked at, they lied. Then you have to say, not what are they lying about? What is the truth? Like,
mhm,
what did they tell me in my entire growing up? Propaganda is real. Propaganda is powerful. We have been lied to our whole entire life about everything.
mhm,
Everything. Look what's happened to America. Everybody in America believes we have this weird thing in America where we believe what is happening in the present has always happened. Like
right, right,
we
right.
believe we've
We're the
paid
first,
income.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're the first ones here.
yeah, and we paid income tax for since our founding fathers fell off the Mayflower. We're like, hey, you got to sign up to pay income tax. Oh yes, absolutely, right? No. We only had income tax in 1913s. Why are we paying income tax? Why am I paying tax on the money I earn? Who
Mhm,
agreed to that shit? I didn't.
right.
Oh, the same year that we did that, we had the Federal Reserve. Oh, but the Federal Reserve isn't really a federal entity. It's just a couple bankers that print our money. Okay,
Correct.
hold on. Time out. Why would I allow that? Why
Yeah.
would it? And I think you people from Canada are going to look down and you're going to see massive violence in America. It's
Yes.
coming. There's no way around it.
Mhm,
People are waking up like me, and it doesn't take hundreds of millions of people like me. All it's going to take is 1,000,000 people like me, 100,000 people like me that say, go F pound sand. You're not getting a damn thing from me. Oh, you're going to come get it from me? Okay. And as you come get me. The alarm's already been sounded. I have 10,000 armed guys in my neighborhood.
mhm,
Who are you going to, what are you going to do, Mr. FBI or Mr. Sheriff? Well, how did you know that we were here? Because we're inside your agencies, you dumb jackasses. Where do you think the Patriots are? We're
yeah.
all around each other. We all know. We're all going to talk. This is how it's going to get done. If our government doesn't correct this behavior, which I do not believe they will do, I don't know if it'll be my generation or the next. But my son's generation, that 12 to 30-year-old generation,
Mhm.
those 2 generations, they've had it, brother. They've
Mhm.
had it. They don't believe anything. That they don't believe about the Jews. They don't believe about Israel. They don't believe about LGBT. They don't believe men need tampons to insert into their anus to stop them from menstruating. They don't need anything. They don't believe anything. So the power structure has lost. They've won our generations, but this new generation or two, they've
Yeah.
lost them. They're gone, and they're going to be powerful individuals to combat and try to hold down.
I hope you're right.
I
I
do
hope you're
too,
right.
brother.
Yeah.
I hope I'm
Yeah.
right.
Well, God bless you, man. That an amazing conversation. We can always go on. I know that you and I could probably talk for another 2 hours about uncovering and exposing and about waking people up, because really this is the I know to you this is the utmost importance, and to myself this is my objective, is the because we don't have an option. That's as far as I can see it, right? We don't have another way out. I know a number of years ago I talked about leaving Canada, escaping, and finding some sort of Shangri-La. But what I realized was there is no place. So we have to sit and defend. We have to set up our fortress. We have to bring our people
Mhm.
together, and this is the way that we work our way out of it. And as you said, countries change all the time, and there's a lot of people that are afraid of just using Alberta as an example. A lot of people are afraid of making that change because change is difficult for a lot of people to understand. But I see it as a survival mechanism. There is no other way for us to continue. Our generations past us, your children, my children, they have to go on, and the only way is that if we defend the area and defend the society and the culture that we want to preserve. So we have to do that today.
But I'll go one step further and leave you with this.
Yeah.
I want whatever is going to happen negative. I want it accelerated because
Mhm.
I want to be the generation that fights this. I don't want my son and his generation to fight it. We created
Agreed.
it. I want to take care of it. I want to hand over a beautiful, clean country that is America first to my son and his wife and to his children, my grandchildren. That's what I want. I want to fight in that war, and I want to hand it over instead of push it down onto my son and say, "Here, son, fix our mess because your father and his generations are a bunch of jackasses that believe that we went into the moon and that we're shooting spaceships into Mars, and that diversity is a strength as our completely population destroyed." That's what I want.
I agree with you. I'm 100% behind you, and I appreciate being shoulder to shoulder with you. We're going to continue to do this, and I appreciate you taking the time to join me and to hopefully wake up some Canadians and maybe some Albertans and maybe even some Americans that are
Yeah.
sitting on the fence. So God bless you, man. God
Thank you
bless
very much.
you and the work. So I'm gonna remind everybody. Do you mind if I just show what we talked about before?
Yes.
The survival dispatch. Do you mind if I show that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So just tell us a little bit about it. I'm going to bring it up here.
So
And
I've changed platforms. I have gone to a platform run by Chris Heaven called Survival Dispatch News. Survival Dispatch News. The best way to go and find that is on Substack, and you can go see my show is on his platform as well as on my website at jgcarrell.com. And I
Survival Dispatch News
news.
on Substack.
Yep, on Substack. You just type that in, and my website is jgcarrell.com. I appreciate the time. That was a fast hour. Thank you.
On Substack. I'm just going to look it up. Do you have time?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Stand by. Did I find it? I think I found it.
And the gentlemen, the people that are tied to Survival Dispatch News they're incredible people. A lot of people in the intel agencies that have CIA background, terrorism background. So if you want to hear like honest, truthful talk, that's where you go. So and
So
I
we can
love.
find you here. Okay.
Yep, you can find me there. I have a show comes on 8 o'clock Central, and then if you miss it, you can go to YouTube or Rumble, or my website has all my shows on there. So,
And you
I
mentioned that
appreciate
he's working on a channel, though. Is that right?
Yes. Chris Heaven is opening a channel called the Outlaw. So I can pull that up right now. Just give me 1 second.
Mhm.
He is. Let me see.
But this is a good place to start. If you,
Yeah,
if
the Outlaw
anybody's
Media
interested.
Group, OMG, Outlaw Media Group. So he's starting that, but he has, and that'll be coming out shortly. But Survival Dispatch News is a great way and has a very hardcore following of like-minded patriots like us. So
Stop trying to time the market. Buy a gold and silver subscription with nuggetstacker.com. Start off with as little as $50 per month and work your way up. Once you get to the allotted amount, they'll send it directly to your door. Stop trying to time that market and save your family with gold and silver in your hands. Nuggetstacker.com. Go through unscrewthenews.com, click on the link for Nugget Stacker.
you'll know his because it's going to be just like you and I are talking today. No holds bar, and this is the truth and what needs to be talked about. And I think that's the only way change is going to happen.
Yeah.
Is people speak openly and be unafraid of the vile titles they'll throw on you. Just laugh it off. You're a Nazi. You're a terrorist. You're anti-Semite. Okay, whatever. Can we talk about why you won't answer my questions? Maybe we can start there and then watch it deteriorate from there. And we have to be aggressive. If we're going to continually be this soft, impotent Christians, then we're going to lose. We turn the other cheek Christian, we're going to lose. God never created us to be cowards. So stop being a coward. Stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't stand up for yourself, who in the hell is going to stand up for you? Nobody.
We've talked about this before, but that cycle, right? Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. We're in that. I think the bottom of that phase, and we're in the weak men cycle because we have created weak men over a number of years, and we have got to. We're going to go through some really hard times. I believe that is the next thing that's coming up. As you and I have both talked about, you're going to see probably a lot of crime and a lot of violence in the United States like we've never seen before.
Never seen before, because we're not a nation of law and order in America. We are a nation of lawlessness and chaos. And we were there because men like me, I have not remained silent, but men like me have remained silent in the face of adversity. And I'll leave your audience with this. It is historically proven that men like me get off their porch and they are engaged in battle. You have never, ever witnessed, history shows this, that you have never witnessed the level of violence and the level of hate and anger that will pour from men like me. Why? Because you killed my life and I can never go back to it. And what awaits me, I don't know. So I have nothing to lose. So therefore, I'm going to inflict massive pain and suffering without any remorse. And I'm going to do things to you. And you go and listen to the accounts of these men that this has happened to. And they will tell you, I did not know what I was doing. I was so filled with hate and rage and violence that I didn't know that I could be that man, but I am that man. And it's something I have to deal with. But you vile, sexually perverse, and morally bankrupt left, and you gutless rhinos, you forced me and men like me into this position. And when I am forced to protect my family, I'm going to kill everyone that gets in my way. And that's not a threat. That is a historical fact throughout history. When men like me get pushed into battle, not pushed against a wall, you pushed me into a violent battle, you're going to lose every single time.
Powerful stuff. JJ, I appreciate your time.
Thanks, brother.
God
Appreciate
bless.
it.
And if you don't mind, just sticking around, I'm going to say goodbye to the audience. But God bless you all for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. Make sure, as you see JJ taking the time to share his thoughts and his views, make sure to get this out. Make sure to get more people to watch it. And I appreciate you. Let's stay sane together. Keep your head on a swivel. This is Bruce. I'm out of here.
Thank you so much for watching Unscrew the News. I appreciate your participation in freedom in Canada. Share this information and help others to wake up. God bless.